welcome to another edition of Beyond the Bell. It is Thursday, February 1st, 2024. It is 60 seconds after the bell, which means it's time to go beyond the charts, beyond the news, and beyond the bell, brought to you by our good friends at Blue Sky Trading Company for the clearest path to a live brokerage account, live trading every day in the Discord with Mike, and of course, this show. We've got all your bases covered over at Blue Sky. So give us a visit over at bluesky.pro to get started today. So guys, we've got so much going on today. First of all, we got a giveaway. Actually, this just proves, the guys at Blue Sky, they're really good dudes, right? Like really care about educating traders, getting you in live brokerage accounts, but they're a little insane. This will be 4 giveaways this week and a flash sale that we did on Tuesday. All right, so this is great. You are here, you are ready. We've got to get through number 7 and 8 in our 8 tips for passing your eval. We're going to very quickly review the first 6, then we'll do number 7 and 8. And we got to talk about the markets today, guys. First day post FOMC, and we've got a lot to talk about. And for that, of course, we are going to go to the big picture. So, guys, I got the ES up here. And we had this area of consolidation back here, okay? So obviously you see I've extended this zone, but area of consolidation that we broke out of, okay? And remember, the markets move from consolidation to consolidation. We go from supply to demand, demand to supply. And moving into FOMC, we headed quite a bit lower, okay? So we then guys, it's amazing when you just draw these on these charts, right? And I don't want to have too many stacked up here, so I didn't put this in the red. But you can see we moved back down to a prior area of consolidation. Now we're breaking out. I expect us to test 49.50, possibly overnight heading into tomorrow. But this candle's got another hour, so we'll see what goes on there. While we're pulling up, it moved up just like you said yesterday. It's almost like I even occasionally know what I'm talking about, but thank you, Brian. I appreciate you shouting that out. And guys, it just goes to show, if you come to this show and watch this show every day, we're not asking for 2 hours of your time. It's been a long day in the markets, right? We're asking for about 30 minutes of your time. Come in here. There are no guarantees in trading, but if you show up every day here, I promise you're probably going to learn quite a bit. You're going to have flash giveaways with no warning, and then you have giveaways like today. With where we do have warning, we do allow you just to set it up. If I could ask our main man Raj back in the controls at studio to go ahead and post that link while I'm pulling up the NQ here. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to post the link. You're going to have 20 minutes to sign up, and we are going to spin the wheel today so you can actually see everything. The guys behind the scenes are going to process everything and send me the names, and we are going to spin the wheel o' names coming up at about 4:25 on the East Coast. So as we move to the NQ, guys, now this is a little more clear. You can kind of see what's going on in the markets, right? So, and I know a lot of you trade the NQ. The vast majority of my trades in the NQ. The NQ is a lot more volatile, but it's a lot more opportunity for profit once you know what you're doing. Guys, if you're trading the NQ and you're consistently struggling, it's just trade management, right? You have a setup that you like or a couple setups that you like, but it's just a matter of trade management. I do encourage you to check out the ES. A little slower mover. Yes, it's not the most exciting in the world, but guys, we're not here for entertainment. Okay, we're here to make money, and so definitely check out the ES if you're really struggling within the NQ. Nice little kind of V pattern here. Obviously, this big candle here came from the FOMC yesterday, but we're right back into this zone here. Now, going to be interesting to see how things go. See, we got a little pop going on here. I know we've got after hours earnings. So we're obviously running up a little bit on that. Let's get, okay, so we've got some after hours tech earnings. So we're going to see a little volatility in the NQ. But regardless of that, guys, once we get back into a zone like this, okay, so this is a pretty big zone, but once we've gotten up and cleared the bottom, I usually will play for a test of the middle, and if we break through the middle, I'm going to play for a test of the top of the zone. Personally, guys, I think we're headed back up to the top of the zone. I think we're trying 17,700 again. I'm not ready to pronounce that we're headed through it, but that's definitely what I'm looking for going into tomorrow and into Monday. It's going to take us some time probably to get all the way back up here. Now, again, just because that does or doesn't happen, We still have to see a setup, right? My thesis is that we're gonna be in a bullish state and moving back towards 17,700. Doesn't mean I won't take short trades along the way, but my overall thesis, my overall bias is going to be long. And as I always say on this show, guys, a trade is just where a thesis meets a setup. Okay, we can predict and prognosticate where the market's going any given day, right? And that's great when we can, but it still has to be actionable. Okay, so, but I've said this before. I know we have just by the numbers, every day we have people who's tuning into the show for the first time. If I could get a yes or a Y or a 1, who is this their first time watching Beyond the Bell today? And while you're typing that in, because I know we do have about a 10 to 15 second delay. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. So we're here every day at 4 o'clock, Monday through Thursday. And guys, we want you here live because that's how you qualify for the giveaways. Oh, a lot of great new attendees. But make sure, guys, even if you can't attend live, maybe you got to pick up your kids from school, or you got a work meeting or something else. These are on YouTube, guys. You can check them out later. In fact, I just do a back of the back of the napkin calculations, but it seems we get 40 to 50% of our views on demand, which I've done some form of this show at various places for several years, guys, and that's usually how it goes, right? Just make it part of your routine. We want you here at 4 o'clock, but if you can't be here at 4, be here at 7, be here at 9, be here at 1 in the morning. Just don't trade the next morning if you're here that late. That you're probably not going to get a lot of sleep then. All right, so we've got a thesis for what's going to go on in the coming days in the market. My thesis is that we're going to retest 17,700, and we'll kind of see where we go from there. Okay, so with that in mind, oh, nice little push up here. Anyone got their news feed up? I don't have one on this computer. I was curious who was reporting earnings. This seems like an Apple or a Tesla move. Yes, SPX Booney, yeah, a trade is where a thesis meets a setup. So you can see very bullish in the ES as well. GC moving up. And CL moving down. Although, now this is oil, not gas, but I do just want to say, guys, I live about 40 minutes from one of the biggest BP oil refineries, from oil to gas, in the country, especially its biggest one, I think, outside of Texas. And they shut down like an hour ago. So I know everyone around there is like without power and all that. So gas if you're in the Midwest, gas is probably going to go up a lot. It's probably already is, but definitely by tomorrow. So just a little tip there. If you're in the greater Chicago area or in the Midwest in general, make sure you maybe top off your tank tonight in case this plant's offline for a couple of days. But see, you get great practical economic tips on this show as well, right? 8 tips, Pastor Lewis. We're getting there. God, we're getting there, man. No, I love the exuberance there. And guys, I'm gonna recap, and we're gonna go into these in a few minutes. We're gonna recap the first 6, but we're getting to 7, 8 today. I do want to break down the ES on a 5-minute chart today. Really good movement. I said to my community this morning, in this afternoon, as we had our daily meeting. We are it's been a weird markets the last couple of weeks, right? The markets are really sort of divided into, big movement and then not, right? So, and this is kind of the same every day, but, this was markets open. I'm in the Chicagoland area, so the market's open here. First half hour, really not very tradable in the NQ, right? It wasn't until we pushed up here, got a move down, and then a long, pretty sustained move up, but even this, guys, very, very tradable. The first half hour, 45 minutes of the day is usually one of the more tradable parts of the overall markets. We just didn't see that today. And like if you recall Monday leading into FOMC, it was a whole lot of nothing until about 3 o'clock Eastern as we got into power hour, and then we pushed through and got some really good moves after that. So definitely. That's just kind of where we are. And the markets continue every trend 100% until they don't, right? So maybe this ends tomorrow and we have a nothing day, or maybe we have a big movement day during the day, all day. But in this case, we just got to be patient, guys. Patience is the name of the game. Jesse Livermore, one of the most famous traders out there back from the 1920s, used to talk about anybody can make, anybody can make some money in the markets, but to keep money, you have to know when to sit and when to trade. Being able to sit and not do anything is completely against what we're used to in other facets of our life, right? And in the markets, I mean, guys, I sometimes, I trade about 3 to 4 hours a day, mostly in the morning. I take an hour break. Sometimes I'm working with clients. I'm prepping for this show, whatever the case may be. But there are days, guys, I sit in front of my computer for 5 hours and maybe make one trade. Okay, that's boring, right? But again, we're here to make money. We're not here to be entertained. If you're here to be entertained, 9 times or 99 times out of 100, you're just going to end up gambling. And if you want to gamble and have entertainment, go to Vegas. Play blackjack, play the craps tables, play the slots, whatever. You're at least going to get some entertainment value. Don't go now. The Super Bowl price rates are through the roof. But, I mean, you get what I'm saying. That's entertainment. Trading is not entertainment. Trading, when it's done right, is not fun. We just have a lot of fun with our winnings from it, and can travel and buy things and do all provide a life for those, for us and our loved ones that we only thought possible, or not only thought possible when we got into trading. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. I'm going to need some water there. Okay, so let me catch up on the questions. Do we have to follow all 4 platforms, or are 3 good? Just make sure you you like and subscribe to this channel, guys, right? Because this will get you our stuff every day. If you're not able to be here at 4 o'clock, but you check in at 8 o'clock, today's video will be right there for you. And again, just asking for a half hour of your time, and we hope to reward you with giveaways, discounts, and a lot of knowledge, right? Okay, so. The giveaway link, guys, is at the top of the chat. You can see there, Blue Sky Trading Company, the yellow highlighted. It's a gleam.io address. You can get in there, and yes, you cannot enter multiple times, but you do get multiple entries for following and liking things on various platforms, but you can only link one email address. Again, we do have a system in place to prevent you from doing more than one. If you try to game the system, we ban you from this one, and we ban you permanently from all of the various giveaways that we're going to do. So keep showing up, and I know there's people that have been at these giveaways for a long time that have finally won some, and we're always happy to see that. Ben, that's great to hear that you tune in to learn. I'm really happy to see that. But yes, anyway, getting back to the markets, pretty much after the first hour, very tradable day for me personally. A lot of good signals. Had a pretty good day. Again, if you want to see my journal from January, go to yesterday's show. I break it down, and actually I got back to a little more normal trading today. And this month, I hope to have about double or triple the trades that I had last month, which of course gives me a few more data points to evaluate how things are going so far this year. So it is time, guys, for our lesson of the day. And to do that, I've got to pull up our slideshow. I definitely don't like doing a ton of PowerPoints. I don't like to do death by PowerPoint on any of this stuff, guys. But let's get into the 8 tips to pass your eval. Okay, again, if you missed any of these, go back this week. We do 2 a day. Quick review of the first 6. You have a month. Use it, right? You don't need to pass your eval on day 1, day 3, day 4. You have 20 trading days per month. I'm not saying rush it in day 19 and 20, but you have the whole time. You don't need to make whatever your maximum on the consistency rule is on day 1, 2, and 3. Okay, very few people are able to do that, and even fewer are able to do that consistently, right? So. Number 2, trade one at a time, one eval. I mean, I know some of you have a couple, but guys, I've played around with a lot of these things in the past, and it's confusing when so I have this eval here, this eval here. First of all, your eval should only be with the Blue Sky Trading Company, the clearest path to a live brokerage account, right? And which should be your goal. Okay, I know withdrawals and do it. That's great. That's all. But that's all. To get and build a live brokerage account is definitely where you want to be. And a few other places have it, guys, but it's like invite only. No, Blue Sky tells you before you even buy your eval. Okay, they tell you here's the steps you need. Okay, it's a clear path. All right, and it's not like 18 steps like other places that shall remain nameless. Ease into it, guys. Taking an $800 loss on your first trade, I don't care what your eval size is. First of all, if you're in the static, that'll fail you. But that puts you behind the 8 ball from day 1, right? If you hit your first trade, you hit the $1,000 drawdown, right? Like you're out. So again, ease into it. Try to make 200 to 300 on your first couple of trades. Give yourself a little cushion before you move to a little more normal sizes. Personally, I wouldn't. Well, actually, you know what? We're gonna get to that in a minute. Number 4, treat it like your own money. Okay, don't get into a situation. Oh, this isn't my money. If I bust it out, I'll just reset or go. No, it's whether it's a $85 reset or you're paying $70 to $90 for a new. It doesn't, guys. Just treat it like your own money. Be serious with it. Okay, less is more. 3 to 5 trades per day. I've yet to see anybody that trades like 40, 50 times a day, even past their eval, let alone get into funded and stay there, right? So just, 3 to 5 trades per day. Go for, a couple hundred in winnings on each trades. Keep with your position sizing, right? And just kind of just ease into it. Less is more. Okay, only trade your plays. Okay, whether your plays, your setups. We don't get into a trade because we think the market is going up. Okay, it's okay to have that thesis. Like I just said, a trade is where a thesis meets a setup. But you have to have setups. I watched the market. I watched the NQ. I was very sure it was going to go higher, and I watched it move 60 points higher without getting into a trade because there was not a setup for any of my trades. Is that frustrating? Yes. Does that suck? Yes. But I do it because I know that those setups work, and I know that those plays work. And every time that I chase something up, that's the thing, guys, about chasing, fear of missing out, bag holding. It works just enough to keep you doing it, but it'll just sit there and bleed you dry. There's a reason those are the most common mental trading mistakes. Maybe we'll do that on a future week on this show. We'll do one per day, one mental trading mistake. All right, guys, and now for the final 2. Budget for 2. Okay, well, what do I mean by this? I've seen it in a lot of different places. Unfortunately, saw it earlier today where somebody said, that I basically scraped together the free cash that I had and got an eval. Okay. Guys, this is just my opinion as I'm not an employee of Blue Sky. I'm just a contributor and friend of the guys there. Okay. But if I was starting out and trading tomorrow, okay, if I woke up tomorrow, I have my knowledge and my ability, but all my money's gone. Okay, and I go to Blue Sky and decide they're the company I want to go with. I'm going to make sure I'm not even going to start my eval until I have 2 months of fees and 2 resets. Okay, so let's say with a discount you're paying $100 for an account. So I'd budget $200, and what are the resets? I think are $85. So we're talking $170. So basically about $400. Let's say $400. Okay, and let's even kick that up for $500. I wouldn't start trading until I had $500, so I have no pressure, or a lot less pressure, right? So I can start my eval. Hopefully I pass it. I don't need all that, okay? But I've got a little bit of a draw. Oh man, gosh, I busted this account on day 5. You know what? I already budgeted for a reset. I'm good. Let's go, right? Now I'm certainly going to figure out what I did wrong. I'm not just going to go into it. If you're going into your 20th eval and you're still doing everything that you did in 21 versus 1 and 2, I mean, again, that's insanity by definition, doing the same thing, expecting a different result, right? Anyway, Amazon warehouse caught fire. Which one? There's about 40,000, I think, just in my hometown. So it's, so yeah, so budget for 2 months, 2 resets, whatever the case may be. If you can afford a little more, that's great as well. Okay. That's something that I think, I did a coaching session with somebody a couple months ago who said basically they do an eval and then they have to scrape together the extra money. Younger guy, so I think he was a college kid. So so sometimes $100 is tough to come by when you're doing college things. I don't know if it went into the beer fund or not, but regardless of that. And I said, why don't you just take 6 months in paper trade? I mean, this wasn't somebody that needed to be successful or anything like, in trading. They got other stuff going on. Why don't you take 6 months in paper trade? Every month set aside $50 if you can. And then in 6 months, you're going to have 6 months of experience and enough money to get an eval and a reset and go from there. I don't know if he took my advice. I haven't heard from him since then, but we're all so impatient, guys. We all want to do this tomorrow. And that's just, other companies, guys, there's other companies that really prey on that impatience, right? And run, pass in one day. Okay, that's great. That means, so you can, that's a lottery ticket. You can YOLO into one trade, but that doesn't prove you can trade. And if you can't trade, I don't care what the rules are, you're going to bust out. Okay, it may not be on trade 1 in the eval, but it'll definitely be in funded, right? Or in some other companies, funded, and I put that in air quotes. So yeah, just take your time, budget for 2, and go from there. So guys, I'm going to give you the 5-minute warning right now to sign up for the raffle. If you have not done so already, in 5 minutes, I'm going to have my good friend Raj send me the names. Once he sends me the names, it doesn't matter if you enter something on the backside. It's not valid. Excuse me, guys. All right, for our last one, guys, this is not a hobby. This is not a job. This is a career. Okay, now this doesn't mean you spend, I know a lot of people have 9-to-5s. Okay, I work with people that have 9-to-5s all the time. So maybe you can only trade a couple hours a day or whatever, right? I don't care if you work 8 hours at work and you do 2 hours of trading. This is your career. I don't care what you do, unless we have a professional athlete in here somewhere, unless some quarterback who makes $200 million on his contract is in here. If you get good at trading, if you become successful, if you stick with it, if you scale, if you do all that, you're going to make far more money trading than I made more money, guys, in the last 3 years than I did in the 35 years prior to that. Okay, so this is your career. This should be outside of, what are the old Vince Lombardi quote, right? Outside of faith, family, and whatever responsibilities you have to put food on the table, this should be your number one. Okay? And if you don't have a family and you're an atheist, then this should be number 2, right? Right? It should be really high on the list then. But regardless of that, guys, this is a career, and you have to treat it as such. This is a career unlike any other. Okay? You are your own boss. You're the CEO. You're the CFO. You're the COO. You're the middle management. You're the receptionist. And if you trade from home like I do and clean your own bathrooms like I do, you're literally the janitor too, right? You're every step of the way. You're pyramid, invert, whatever the case may be. You're every step of the way. And most of us are not used to that. And we don't have, trading does not have, other than losses, and if you're like me, you're very, very stubborn, and losses sometimes aren't enough. But there's no built-in levels of accountability outside of losses themselves. Okay, so there's no, you screw up at work, you got a boss or a coworker say, hey man, come on, you gotta do better than that, right? Like, we do this a certain way. In trading, if you're ignoring your losses, and if you're like, oh well, I've got a winning system, it just happens to lose all the time. Well, no, you don't. And eventually, you have to hold yourself accountable. Okay, and especially like funded trader programs and prop firms like Blue Sky are great, but the one thing that they do is, when you wanted to get started in futures 10 years ago, you had to do it in your own money. And if you lost a ton of money, obviously you probably got a parent, a child, or a spouse that's going, wait a minute, where did this $40,000 go, right? Or unfortunately, sometimes more for a lot of us. All right, so you have to be able, this is a career, you have to hold yourself accountable, you have to keep developing yourself as a trader, and yeah, that's basically it. So those are the 8, guys. So if you missed any of these, make sure you go back to the shows from this week. And I encourage you to watch the whole thing, but if you only have about a half hour, just skip to the part where where we talk about these. I've done 2 a day, did 2 Monday, 2 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday, 2 today. And go ahead and make sure go back and like those videos as well. The more interaction, and I'm not just saying that to get, we want the algorithm. I mean, yeah, we want the algorithm to recommend us to other people and stuff like that, but it shows us you're engaged, right? And the more engagement we have, and we've had good engagement, but we want to keep building, right? Just like a trading account, we want to keep building it up. When there's engagement, I've got the guys at Blue Sky saying, boy, we're doing pretty good here. Let's do a giveaway, right? Or let's do a flash sale, or whatever the case may be. The more that you're doing and liking and subscribing and whatever all across social media and YouTube, the more we're going to be able to do, the more leeway we're going to have to do giveaways, to do other topics and like long form topics like we did this week. We're getting really good responses to everything. And guys, in the Blue Sky Discord, most of you are members of that. If you're not, go to bluesky.pro. Down in the lower left-hand corner of your page, there should be an invite. Join that. None of the Blue Sky team, myself included, will ever direct message you out of the blue, and especially won't direct message you asking for, something crypto or whatever those scammers are doing now. But you are welcome to direct message me, and I do try to respond to most of those within a couple of hours. The morning's a little tough because I'm trading. If you have any topic ideas you want to see on the show or any questions or anything like that, make sure we don't have time for our mailbag today, guys. But this is how you can contact me if for future mailbags. Just Trader Mag Matt on Discord, you're welcome to reach out. I'm also available, Matt at TiresiasTrading.com, TIRESIAS trading.com, and that can again, that's my personal email. So we're getting bigger on this show, but we're not so big that I'm not able to give out personal emails, and I don't have to screen any of that. So, guys, it is 4:25 on the East Coast, and it is time to pull up the wheel of names. Just a second here, guys. Let me pull up a browser, and then I will go to the wheel o names. So just bear with me. You guys will bear with me for a minute or two to set this up. The wheel o names. Got to delete the ones from last time. Okay. So, thanks to my main man Raj back at the studio, our home office, in wherever. All right, so, a lot of names. Good Lord. A lot of people here today. Love it. All right. Let me copy and paste these. Oh, that's a... Oops, hold on. All right. Okay, let me pull this up, and we will be ready to go. Look at all these entries. Now, I know some people do have multiple entries because you've liked multiple things, so that's okay. But, again, we do have a system in place to prevent multiple entries. We do screen these. The winners, we'll check them out and make sure they didn't try to game our system. But it's a lot of entries, a lot of names. Thank you very much for that, guys. It is time. So we're spinning the wheel twice, all right? The giveaway is the Blue Sky eval account of your choice. You can pick anyone you want, and you'll get a free month to that. I've had people reach out to me that have been winners, and I know at least one made it to funded. I want to hear from one of you in like a year where you got funded and you got good, you made a ton of money, and say, boy, it was that giveaway, and I made 50 grand, 100 grand out of that account. I want to hear that, and that's going to happen sooner or later. Maybe it's one of you. All right, let's spin that wheel. The name will pop up, guys, because I know it's a little tough to see some of this. So our first winner is Valery Belev. Congratulations. I'm going to leave that up on the screen so our team at home can... Now, guys, we'll contact you. You don't need to do anything. One of our wonderful account associates will reach out to you and set that up. All right, so we're going to remove that name. And here is the second spin. Mad Moxie. Congratulations. All right. So, congratulations to our two winners. We're now closing our second week of shows, guys. We've seen a slow, steady increase in views. Obviously, giveaways, people are here for that, and that's great. I hope you keep tuning in whether or not we have a giveaway. But, guys, like I said, the giveaways, flash sales, all that, those are in the hands of the Blue Sky guys. And usually they reach out like an hour before and let me know what's going on for that particular day while I'm prepping. So I know for a fact that they are more apt to do giveaways and flash sales and all that stuff. Some announced, some completely unannounced. Based on your interaction. Great group here today, guys. You guys have been very active. I see the chat. I got the chat down here. It's been zooming the whole time. I really appreciate that, guys. I want this show to be one, this is an independent production here, right? Like, we're not affiliated with any of the big networks or anything like that. I want this to become, over the next few months, one of the biggest independent trading productions on YouTube. I'm serious about that, okay? I know there's a lot of, live traders that brag about money. I'm not here to say they're legit. I'm not here to say they're not legit, okay? But we want this to be the best damn educational source for retail futures traders online. And keep showing up, and we're going to make that happen together, okay? Thank you for tuning in for another edition of Beyond the Bell. I look forward to you guys coming back next week. I will see you on Monday.